What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another KeyForge video for you. This time it's from the top 8 at Gen Con 2019, the Archon Vault Tour. On the left we have Trevor, on the right we have Chris. If you'd like to check out their deck lists, they are linked in the description below on this YouTube video. If you're new here and you don't know that I post a bunch of KeyForge and other tabletop videos, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos I post. Alright, so we got Customs Office, Poison Wave, Shadow Self, Dodger on the board. And on the other side, Chris started off with a Lash of Broken Dreams. So Big Twig, followed by Big Twig, followed by Niffle Ape, and then Exhausting, Shadow Self, and Dodger on the other side with a Nocturnal Maneuvers, gaining an amber from that. Both players tied at an amber here. So looking at the deck list quick here, I see Chris is running no shadows. It is a Coda deck, but he has 3 Control the Weaks, which is gross. He also has a Life Ward in there, which, you know, can be a very hard-hitting card if you do it at the right time. But I don't see any kind of resets in this with it, but it is Omni, so we could fight on another turn with some of his creatures in another house, then pop it. All right, so a second Poison Wave here from Trevor, spreading some damage around, throws a special delivery out there, gaining an amber off that, and we see another Dodger in play. Trevor has a single Control the Weak himself. He has a Gateway to this, a 3 Fates, and a Tolas. Tolas is seems to be popular here in this at this tournament. I've seen quite a bit of it in the last few videos, I feel like. So we got some Reaps and slash Stun Exhaust there off the Big Twigs. And I think we got a Reap there off the Niffle Ape, and then we have a Snufflegator hitting the board. So Chris doing a good job of controlling that Shadows board there of Trevor's. Not letting him get going here.
Oh, you're doing 1 damage. I'm sorry. I thought you were attacking.
I have an Untamed deck with a Inca and a Big Twig together, and I know those can be frustrating. And I think it has at least 1 Nocturnal Maneuvers in it also. But looking at Chris's list here, it has 2 Nocturnal Maneuvers. It's got a Nature's Call, the 2 Big Twigs we see there, and a Lost in the Woods. He can just really mess with you with this Untamed lineup. Kind of slow you down. All right, we got an Ember Imp dropping in on the right flank for Trevor, protected by the Shadow Self for now. And we got a Shuler coming in, stealing an Amber, of course. And the rest of the Amber goes on Charette with a 3 capture. And Tolas goes to the discard pile, not seeing him on the board this time.
Untamed. I know these houses. Working so far. So let's do this.
So looks like Chris is going with Untamed again. I mean, you got 4 of them on the board. Might as well. You might have none in hand, though.
Reap.
So he's going to Reap with Big Twig, and then he'll Stun and Exhaust somebody.
Shadow Self?
And it looks like Shadow Self's getting the Stun and Exhaust.
Kill Shadow Self.
So we'll actually fight into the Shadow Self with Big Twig to finish him off. Obviously taking no damage back since Shadow Self does not deal damage when fighting. And you fight with Snufflegator here, who has Skirmish. And not take any damage back. He's hitting for 4, so he can get Charette off the board, get some Amber. Or he can go after the Ember Imp now. He's going to Reap with the Niffleape for sure. Because he only has 1 damage left before he leaves play. I think he's debating the Ember Imp or Charette. You got to think about what you're trying to do next round. He's going to do Charette. Interesting. Does he have another way to get 1 more Amber?
One card.
Is a Briar Grubbling going into play as Hazardous 5. Doesn't get to check though.
Camera, that was a mistake. I should have agreed with it.
Yeah, I think he realizes he should. He just said he has to the camera. He made a mistake, which I think yes, the big twig should have did a Reap. Left Shadow Self on the board. Because I thought he was trying to expose the Ember Imp there, but then he didn't end up fighting it.
Yep.
And looking at Trevor's deck list here, he has 2 Doorsteps to Heaven, 2 Potion of Invulnerabilities, 2 Protectrix. It's got a Cleansing Wave in there. Watch out for that. So Chris going with the Untamed board. Trevor's got to either answer it or continue to be controlled. He could just continue to play cards from hand and try to race here. We see the special delivery. He's able to hit that Briar Grubbling if he wants to and purge it. So that can weaken the Untamed lineup a little bit, but that's not the best creature you want to get rid of.
Okay, I'm going to go House Dis.
Sounds like Trevor's going Dis here. And Restring Guntus hits the board and says, "No Untamed for you." Oh boy, it's going to stop that lock for a turn, I guess. He'll have to have something out of hand to get rid of Restring Guntus off the board. He's going to Reap with the Ember Imp, Reap with Schuler.
Control the weak, and I'll say you have to pick.
Plays to control the weak here, gains an Amber. He's just deciding what house to name to force Chris to play next turn.
So I'll say you have to pick House of Logos.
And Chris has to choose Logos next turn.
Check at 7.
I don't see a Twin Bolt to Mission in Chris's lineup to easily pop those 2. But he does have 2 Phase Shifts. Could help him out here. So he does a Mother. Plays Interdimensional Graft.
And that is it.
And that'll put him into check. He only can play 2 cards right now because the Ember Imp.
I'm in check.
And Chris does steal that last Amber off of Interdimensional Graft after Trevor forged.
7.
And Chris is sitting at 7 in check. There's our first key by Trevor. Sure, if Chris wasn't hit by that Control of the Weak, I'm sure he probably would have named Dis. Maybe did a Lash play there to buy himself a turn. But you know he would have went Untamed if he could. He's got to get that Restring Guntus off the board to do that, though. Just want to give a shout out to everyone that donates to the channel over on Patreon. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for making this stuff happen. Thanks for getting me to Gen Con to film these videos. If you want to help get me to other tournaments and offset the cost of doing this YouTube stuff, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below and heading on over to Patreon. Like I said, thanks to everyone that supports us here. Much appreciated. So we got Schuler fighting Mother. A Reap off of Restringuntus and Ember Imp. And a Pit Demon put into play. And we see our first KeyForge there by Chris. So we're tied at a key apiece. 1 Amber remaining for Chris. 2 for Trevor.
I go Logos.
So Chris is going Logos this turn.
Special delivery to kill your
Going to do remote access on Special Delivery, purging Restringuntus. Very nice play.
Archive.
And Labber going to archive a card here, gain an Amber.
And I will draw.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, it's sideways. And that is it. You're up.
So it's too bad those weren't the 2 Logos cards that Chris had last turn. Maybe he did have them, I don't know. But I doubt he had that remote access, though. But that would have been a nice play to pop Restringuntus to go into Untamed.
Okay, I'm gonna pick House Sanctum.
So Sanctum dropping down a Gorm of Ulm and 2 Potion of Invulnerabilities. Getting a couple Amber there. And a Doorstep to Heaven. Just to gain an Amber.
I have Amber. Go ahead.
Alright.
I think Trevor's sitting at 5, not
I
check.
feel like I should call Untamed now that I've worked so hard to do it. So, Untamed.
He's going back Untamed again here. Makes sense. You got 5 of them in play. So we got Ember Imp getting fought by Snufflegator.
Reap, Stone and Exile.
And we got a Reap, Stun and Exhaust on Pit Demon. And the big twigs allowed to run wild here. Love that card.
Reap.
It's going to Reap, Stun and Exhaust the Dodger. It's already stunned. They won't get stunned again, but he will get exhausted, which just makes it just that much harder to get the stun off.
Reap.
And we got a Reap from the Briar Grubbling and the Niffle Ape, putting Chris in check. And
Pay you to play Netseed, right?
so he debated playing a Nepenthe Seed there, but Customs Office is out. But if he does, he has to pay. He's going to discard it, yes. He would have to pay Trevor and put him into check for a Forge next turn. He's going to play Lost in the Woods and gain an Amber.
That guy.
He's going to shuffle back the Dodger
And
that's readied. He's debating between the other Dodger and the Pit Demon. He's going to go the other Dodger.
yep.
And Niffle Ape and Briar Grubbling going back. That makes sense. That's who I would have chose there. Niffle Ape 1 power away, just basically doing Reaps from this point. They'll go back into the deck.
So they're separate. That's smart.
Yeah, I know.
Both players playing with the same sleeves. Trying to make sure they don't confuse which piles are what.
Alright. And that will be it. I will end in check, drawing 6.
So Chris ends his turn. He's checked with 8, I believe. And yes, you just confirmed that for us there. Trevor sitting at 5.
You're at 8.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go House. All of my Amber generation.
Does Trevor have another Doorstep to Heaven in hand? We know he has 2 in the deck. I don't think so. I think he would have went there. Maybe he shouldn't have played that one last turn. Hindsight's 20/20 though. That's something I'm trying to figure out as I play KeyForge now. Is trying to understand the cards in your deck and which ones you hold and which ones you just burn through. I mean, players are kind of taught just to play fast, get cards out of hand, see other cards in your deck. Sometimes you're just racing to find something. But sometimes holding that one card, one other turn, maybe 2 turns, could be the thing that locks the game for you, you know? And that's what I love about this game. All right, Inspiration readying up Frankus there to fight into Snufflegator. And he'll capture an Amber off Chris.
Good game, Kyle. Cleansing Wave.
And a Cleansing Wave.
Healing 1 from 3 creatures.
3 heals there, getting 3 more Amber for Trevor.
They're both healed by 1.
I think you played it.
Healing up the big twigs and the Frankus.
Right.
And Lash gets destroyed off the Gorm of Olm.
3, 6, 8 amber.
And Trevor's check at 8. Chris forges his second key.
I was hoping that after Shadows I would draw like something a little bit more like
Impactful for that.
yeah. I mean, because I was like, I guess an option was just like pitching that all early.
Did Chris draw into any of his 3 control of the weeks here? When are we going to see those hit? Force Trevor to be stuck.
I'm gonna go Dis.
He names Dis here. Let's see.
One.
He's going to pay an amber for Customs Office. Screaming Caves hits the board. Love that artifact.
Guardian Demon's gonna heal.
Guardian Demon coming in, healing 1 off Big Twig and putting it on Pit Demon.
Dust Imp.
And we got a Dust Imp on the right flank.
That's the only way to hard opponent. Like, just, I mean, like,
Gonna discard Life Ward.
And Life Ward getting the discard. That is interesting.
Drawing
I know you don't want to pay the amber to your opponent for Customs Office, but Life Ward, man. That could really hurt an opponent and slow them down for a turn or more.
it took me a while to find my only way to stay alive versus replay. It's like, oh, natural. Right, it came down to that one. Actually, so you discard all your lowest cards and try to find the feature.
So both players at 2 keys. Trevor's sitting with 3 extra amber. Chris has 0 extra amber. It's Trevor's turn here. He's checking his discard pile.
I feel good. I feel good.
No, you got to play your house. Always play your house.
Yeah. That was my only goal was to make day 2. So.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. It was a fun game. Wow.
Thank you.
I'm truly believing in you to win it all.
I'm going to try.
Then I will be redeemed.
Okay. House. Shadows.
So Trevor is called Shadows. Drops in a Dodger. That was one of the 2 that got shuffled back earlier. And there's the other one. And Shadow Self's back. 2 of them in Trevor's deck, actually.
Okay. Relentless Whispers.
And we see Relentless Whispers gaining an amber, 2 damage,
And then I'll have this destroy trigger.
to Dust Imp. Makes the Destroy trigger go off first.
Yeah.
And I steal 1. Because I'm the
Steal
active player,
2.
so I can decide.
This,
The order.
if this damage destroys that creature, steal 1.
Right. And
So
then
yeah, so the
active
destroy
sword-
trigger triggers,
Right.
and then this removes, which triggers this. It's not necessarily an order thing for you. That's just the way it works.
So I'll use that.
So Dust Imp's amber, one of them gets stolen due to the Relentless Whispers there. Putting Trevor at 5 amber.
And I'm going to pass the turn. I'm at 5 amber.
Kyle just rise me and toxins me to
Double
death.
checking.
It's like a judge is just looking at Relentless Whispers here just to make sure that's how it works.
But I mean, that was just complete.
I didn't even know if that was
Alright.
good.
Seems legit.
Untamed,
No. I had it. And then
full moon.
So we got a full moon play here from Chris on Untamed. We've seen a lot of his Untamed creatures already, but there's a good one in Dust Pixie. Getting 3 amber on that play.
Niflate.
Niffle coming in, getting another amber out full moon.
Oh, I know that's the problem. That's what I was telling you when we played testing. Slow down.
Reap.
And we got a Reap, which will gain an amber.
That one.
And Dodger gets exhausted and stunned.
Reap. Stunning.
And he'll do it to the other Dodger. Makes sense. Stop the chances Trevor has to steal amber. Get yourself in check.
Check with 7. I will draw to 6.
Chris has 7 amber, ends his turn in check. Does Trevor have a way to answer Chris's 7 amber?
You're at 7 and I'm at 5.
Yep.
Did you announce check at 6? Because I
Yeah.
believe I see 7 on the.
I said check at 7.
He said check
Yep.
at 7, man. You did it
So we see Frankus out on the board. He can do a capture, assuming he can destroy. He's going to do doorstep. There you go. We got the second one. So that'll reduce him down to 5. And we got a reap off Frankus, putting him to 6 in check. Bulwark coming down, giving a couple armor to the Dodger on his left.
Check at 6, drawing out.
So Trevor ends his turn. Check with 6. Back over to Chris. Does he just continue to go untamed? He can't if he doesn't have something in hand that can reduce an amber or a Murmook or something. But that's it. He's got nothing to get rid of an amber. And Trevor squeaks it out there. Wow. I didn't see that coming. But anyways, great game there by both players. Thanks to them for playing on camera. Thanks again to everyone supporting us over on Patreon. Thank you to you for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below here on the YouTube video. Lots more KeyForge coming up on the channel. Lots of videos already there. Go check those out. And I'll see you in the next video.